as of late. Since the opening of Dick Dalesk Soccer Stadium, West Virginia has been terrific against ranked opponents on its home turf. In fact, this stadium has been a place where top teams fear to tread. The Mountaineers are hosting their 6th top 3 opponent in the history of this facility. Kentucky, the 6th opponent of the 5 before it. Only 1 left with the victory. The Mountaineers are 4-1 all-time at Dick Dalesk Stadium against top 3 foes. Kentucky enters this matchup undefeated and holding the number 2 ranking in the United Soccer Coaches Poll, its highest ranking ever. We're underway at DDSS. West Virginia in all gold, attacking to the left. Kentucky in its traditional blue with white trim, attacking to the right.
Hard to believe these schools, you mentioned border schools, only playing for the 2nd time. Now conference rivals have a little bit more frequency between the two.
Last time these teams met a year ago in Lexington, Kentucky won that game in double overtime. It was Danny Evans who scored the winner past Stephen Tikeski with about 5 minutes to go in that second overtime period as the Wildcats took the first meeting between the two programs. Here's Nick Gutman on the near side wing against Fred Jorgensen, crosses in and just beyond Bjorgolfsson. First opportunity for Kentucky in the attacking third. First chance to take a look at what these Wildcats will look like offensively. They're led by 11th-year head coach Johan Sedergren, a native of Sweden, who is the 3rd head coach in the history of Kentucky men's soccer, and he has brought this program to prominence. As he told us earlier this week, Adam, Kentucky and West Virginia may not be traditional soccer schools, but the 2 head coaches of those programs would certainly love for them to be considered soccer powers in the near future.
Yeah, 23 wins going back to last season as well, in addition to a host of success before last season, but lost against the eventual national champion Clemson in the NCAA tournament, and brings back a lot of pieces from that squad last year to the Wildcats. So a program that is well established now for sure.
Dan Stratford in his 3rd season as head coach at West Virginia. If you've heard the fight song Hail West Virginia, you know about the old grads and the young lads, and Dan Stratford's coaching staff, very much the embodiment of that. 2 of his former teammates are assistants on this staff, and Andy Wright, the associate head coach, and Nick Noble, an assistant coach. Though I guess they may take issue with the adjective old in that phrase. Maybe just the grads and the lads.
Yeah, I was going to say, you want to go down there and say that right to them?
Stratford, Wright, and Noble played together as Mountaineers in the mid-2000s. Noble playing from 2003 through 2006, ended his career as the all-time wins leader at WVU, a record he now shares with Stephen Tikeski, a player who completed his season, or his career, last season as West Virginia went to the Elite 8 for the first time in 4 decades. Both of these teams coming off NCAA appearances. Kentucky has made it to the national tournament each of the last 4 campaigns. Thiessen with the intervention. Baer to Dromers, and as he turns, he loses control briefly. It's Dromers, Burchell, and Baer in the midfield for West Virginia in this 4-3-3 as another throw-ins coming for Kentucky. Meanwhile, back line, far side to near side is Otto Olakainen, Aaron Denkgracia, Bjorn Thiessen, and the near side fullback Fred Jorgensen. Max Miller, the right back for Kentucky, charging ahead. He scored the game-tying goal against Dayton. Cross in, Bonaire mishandles, out for a corner kick.
Really good stuff, a really good sequence there from Kentucky, playing that ball back inside. Shot gets fired, and Bonaire really needs to be able to bring this one down. Fortunate that Kentucky wasn't able to bury that one off the back post.
It was the midfielder Casper Grenning who was there on the back post, not Bjorgolfsson. 5th minute of action, still scoreless. This is the first corner kick for Kentucky. It'll be taken by Robert Screen, the 5th-year Wildcat, in-swinger. It's a great corner. It's defended by Fred Jorgensen, but not cleared. Another deflection. This time Thiessen will punch it skyward and out of the box. It's Yutaro Sukata committing the foul.
Kentucky got off to a little bit of what they would describe as a sluggish start the other night against a really good Dayton team that West Virginia had played previously. The Wildcats went down 2 goals. As you take a good look at this opportunity for Kentucky. It actually went off a West Virginia head in the box there. But right now, Kentucky has started this night in much better form, I think, in comparison to the start against Dayton.
Free kick in and back over the end line. Another corner coming in quick succession for the Wildcats. Kentucky 8-0-3 entering this contest, had 4 straight wins starting in September and through October before that 2-2 draw Tuesday against Dayton. Meanwhile, West Virginia coming off back-to-back wins, 4-0 against Old Dominion in conference play, 3-0 against Lehigh in non-conference action. Here's Screen to do the routine again. Second corner kick coming for the Wildcats. Jorgensen defends it at the back post. Great shot and a great goal. Kentucky showing just how potent it can be. What a goal from Luis Grasso, the captain. It's 1-0 Wildcats in the 6th minute.
Dream start here for Kentucky and a couple of corners. This one amounts really a good job off of West Virginia to get to that first one, but unable to get it completely out of the box there. Recycled in, and then just a beautiful strike. Well earned there for Kentucky. Tough for Bonaire to do anything with that one. That is just a really good strike there from Kentucky.
The first goal any team has put past Marc Bonaire this season. It's his 3rd career start. That one as good as it gets from Luis Grasso, the center back from Munich, Germany. His 2nd goal of the season and 5th career tally to put Kentucky ahead. Adam, we had an opportunity to chat with Coach Johan Settegren from Kentucky before this match began. He said these two teams are very similar in the way that they want to dictate the pace and the way that they want to control possession. So far, early goings, Kentucky is the team that's doing that and already has a goal to show for it.
Yeah, the Wildcats came out and possessed the ball, forced a couple of corners, and even though that one didn't come directly off the set piece, it was recycled in. West Virginia unable to, again, to get it out of play and out of danger. And too many opportunities. It's hard to say that was a really great look from Grasso because it was a really difficult attempt, but in the box and able to get his leg around it for the goal. But right now, you're right, Kentucky is in control of the ball and the tempo so far.
Here's Yutaro Sukata for West Virginia as the Mountaineers enjoy their first bit of possession in the attacking 3rd. Touched out last by Kentucky into touch for a throw for West Virginia. History tells us West Virginia is in trouble already. Mountaineers are 0-3 this season when conceding the first goal of the match. Meanwhile, all 4 of their wins have come after scoring first. A lot of ball left to play, however. Here's Adam Burchell. Back to Sergio Ors-Navarro. Ors-Navarro can't connect with Caldera. And it's turned away by Rodriguez and now cleared by the Wildcats.
That was a good step there by Ors-Navarro to just as that ball was bouncing back to maintain possession for West Virginia. Give the Mountaineers another opportunity to try and build here.
Thiessen for West Virginia, Herman watch list honoree at the beginning of the season. So was Grasso, placed on the MAC Herman Trophy watch list.
Also the preseason defensive player of the year in the Sun Belt Conference, and able to step forward on that set opportunity. That's why I was in the middle of the box.
Kentucky boasting 2 preseason Sun Belt players of the year. Grasso, the preseason defensive player of the year, as Adam just noted, and Aitor Bjorgolfsson, the team's leading scorer, the preseason offensive player of the year.
Interesting that when, you know, the Sun Belt formed and you have teams coming from different conferences, you don't have last year's standings to go off of when you're doing the preseason poll. West Virginia was the preseason favorite, but Kentucky boasted those 2 top players, and probably the biggest question mark for Kentucky coming into this season was the goalkeeper position. They lose a first-team All-American last season, had 12 shutouts, and so there might have been a question mark about that position. And, you know, Kentucky has used a couple of different players there, but both of them, and then all three of them, and the three of them have seen action, have been pretty successful here.
West Virginia upping the pressure here a little bit as Screen is able to send it past Ors Navarro to Rodriguez. 3 and 4, the center backs for Kentucky. You've already heard us talk about Grasso. Rodriguez is a transfer from Oral Roberts and a native of Sao Paulo, Brazil. Meanwhile, the tandem for West Virginia, Denk Gracia and Thiessen, both of them German. In fact, it's an all-European back four for West Virginia. You can count Ollikainen and Fred Jorgensen. Ollikainen's from Finland, Jorgensen from Denmark. Ball all the way back to the keeper, and now again to Grasso. Moles. 10 minutes gone, Kentucky leading 1-0 on the 6-minute goal by their senior center back, Luis Grasso. Bjorgolfsson one-on-one with Denk Gracia.
It was a good sequence here for West Virginia just a little bit ago, trying to get that ball to Caldera. He's that guy in the middle lurking. He's done well there to clean those up, not able to get on the end of that one.
Caldera, 2 goals against Old Dominion, followed by 1 more and an assist against Lehigh. Opportunity here for Kentucky. It's Grenning. Grenning off the post! Boy, Kentucky a prime chance to double the lead there, missed by just inches as Grenning had Bonaire beat but couldn't beat the post.
Right now, West Virginia is too careless with the ball, too many turnovers, and Kentucky is really just peppering now.
Here's Miller. Dangerous cross. Dromer's got a foot to it, it's 2-0. Grenning doesn't miss that time. Couldn't get it cleared. It fell to the midfielder Casper Grenning for his 4th goal of the season. It's Kentucky 2, West Virginia 0.
Well, Kentucky just kind of keeps coming in waves here. That was off an initial turnover, really unforced. West Virginia thought it might get reprieve here. Didn't get it far enough out. Kentucky's able to start again. And a little bit of a scramble there, but buried into the back of the net there for the Wildcats. You see Bonaire trying to get his defense organized, but really right now Kentucky's had all of the ball and all of the opportunities.
2 goals in less than 12 minutes for the Wildcats. They now have increased their league-leading goal tally as a team. 32 goals this season as a group. Grasso and Grenning putting 2 past Bonaire. And Adam, as we mentioned at the top of this broadcast, this game important for West Virginia as the Mountaineers were the preseason favorites to win the league, but really have just struggled this season against Sun Belt opponents, against ranked opponents. This game important for West Virginia to try to get back into the mix in the conference standings, but also to prove to itself that it could beat a team like Kentucky in the Sun Belt tournament if it were so to face one. Here's Sukata for West Virginia, trying to get one back. Yutaro Sukata, easy save from Moles. First shot for West Virginia. Kentucky has already had 6 attempts, 3 of them on goal, leading 2-0.
Yeah, Sukata is someone that you see here on the move, trying to get things going here in October. You know, as you were talking about West Virginia trying to find some confidence, they had that lull there and some tough matchups, obviously. Most of those on the road. The formation change a couple of games ago. They're starting to score 4. They scored 3. But now they were going to really see what the effects were. And right now, still have a long way to go. But West Virginia was feeling really good about itself. And now they have a ways to go to try and get that feeling back.
In the regular season under Dan Stratford, who's in his 3rd season as West Virginia's head coach, the Mountaineers are 3-5-1 against top 25 teams. All 3 of those wins came in quick succession, beating Marshall in the spring of 21 season, and then wins at home in back-to-back nature against Pitt and Penn State at the start of last season. Since then, though, the Mountaineers went on to draw with Marshall last year and then have dropped 5 straight decisions to nationally ranked foes, including that double overtime loss to Kentucky a year ago. If you count the NCAA tournament, West Virginia also beat a nationally ranked Tulsa team in the Sweet 16 and then lost at Georgetown in penalty kicks. Really, technically, that one goes down as a draw because it went to PKs. But the point here is it's been a while since West Virginia has had a win over a ranked team, in part because played all those ranked teams on the road and played some really, really quality opponents in that stretch. 14th minute, Kentucky leading West Virginia 2-0 in just the second ever meeting between these teams. Wildcats playing their 4th road game of the season. They're 2-0-1 away from home, 6-0-2 in Lexington. Nick Farrell and Adam Zundel here with you on ESPN Plus, coming to you live tonight from Dick Dalesk Soccer Stadium in Morgantown, West Virginia. Both WVU and Kentucky. 3 more Sun Belt matches to go after tonight. Referees this evening, Nick Rod Fateh. On the sidelines, Max Smith and Bree Mole. The alternate official is Jake Finkler. Quick stoppage here in the 15th minute. West Virginia will restart near the center circle.
See if West Virginia could just try to keep things simple here and connect a few passes, as Kentucky's really putting West Virginia under duress and forced some mistakes by the Mountaineers, and quite honestly, a couple others were unforced, leading to some turnovers. But West Virginia just thinks needs to try and make some simple plays here.
Dromers looking for Burchell. Moles comes out and gobbles it up.
I like that ball in there, making Moles make a decision. He makes the right one, comes out, times it well, but draws the keeper off his line and again forces him to make a decision. Lots of potential for the young keeper, but still, trying to find his way in this collegiate game. So I think the more times you can make him make a decision, the better off you are.
Moles was named Sun Belt Player of the Week earlier this season when Kentucky drew with Marshall back in September. He had 4 saves in that contest. Good through pass to Gutman, who tries to sneak it past Thiessen. But the German defender does well there in the box. Bjarne Thiessen, part of 21 clean sheets in his West Virginia career. Won't get one tonight. That's still an impressive number that tells you about his longevity as a player. Thiessen was preseason All-Sun Belt. He was also a preseason All-American entering this season. Here's Gutman again. Gutman deflects it back toward goal. Thiessen sends it forward. Here's Burchell giving chase. Burchell sneaks by a defender. Needs some support. Pulls it back. Has Ors Navarro. Dromers loves to shoot from range. Moles is there. Didn't really test the keeper, but that might not be the last time we see Dion Dromers try to rip one from outside the box.
Yeah, you had the sense that Dion wanted this one as he collects it, and I think he's just right now looking for a little bit of space, He gets it, and we've seen him place some a little bit better in the upper corner of the net. That one goes right to the keeper, but still a good strike, a hard strike. He can hit it like a rocket, so not a bad attempt there for West Virginia, and it was a really good touch from Burchell there to kind of spring things forward for the Mountaineers.
Mountaineers will need more of that if they're going to get back into this match and contend with the #2 team in the land. Caldera almost poked it free. The Mountaineers have scored goals like that with the press to set things up in enemy territory close. After the throw-in, Bear has it in the midfield. Dengracia can't connect with Olakainen. Now a chance to counter for Kentucky. Here come the Wildcats with pace. Clay Holstad to Bjorgolfsson. Great back heel to find Grenning, who already scored from that position. Grenning crossing, back post. Gutman, still Gutman. And finally defended by Bear, but not all the way clear. Gutman drops it back to Miller. Mountaineers need to clear and finally do. Another dangerous moment there for the Wildcats, who already lead by a pair. Caldera, reckless challenge. It's Andrew Erickson from San Antonio, Texas, the Wildcat, who's on the turf right now, as Caldera gets a talking to from the referee.
And Caldera gets the ball down and then catches all of the leg there of Erickson, so a clear foul. I think the Kentucky bench may have wanted more out of that in terms of a card, but foul nonetheless, and a talking to, I guess.
Wildcats really pushing numbers forward here. That pass just doesn't connect from Grosso to screen. 20th minute of action, Kentucky leading by 2 early on. A tremendous scissor kick goal by Luis Grosso opened the scoring in the 6th minute, followed about 5 minutes later by a goal from Casper Grenning. And another error in the back for West Virginia. Another opportunity here for Kentucky, right on the left. Scoots it over to Gutman. Back to right, lost his footing. Sukata has dropped back into a defensive position here to send it out for a throw.
I really thought we would see screen a lot on the other side making runs, but really it's been on this side of the field. It's been Gutman who's had a lot of action here during the run of play, trying to attack the Mountaineer defense.
Gracia wins it. Caldera will have to try to hold up here to flank with Birchall when he does. No subs yet for either team. Remember, you cannot re-enter in the first half. You can in the second half. One thing to keep an eye on for West Virginia, several players who have missed recent matches with injuries could be available tonight, including Luke McCormick, the team's active leader in games played, goals, and assists.
Mountaineers looking almost a little bit tentative in some spots as Kentucky's start has really kind of put them on the back foot here. And a guy like McCormick you talked about, one of the things that he brings in addition to his production statistics is that edge that he plays with. Yes. And West Virginia could sure use an edge right now. Another giveaway here. West Virginia battling to try and get it back.
The Mountaineers do get it back. Here's Birchall. Caldera through on goal, but the flag is up for offside.
It was right in front of him too. He knew it, and it was an offside as we were watching that one. It was a step and a half, and really he goes right ahead. I mean, you know, he's got to assume that somebody behind him isn't holding him on. I think he blew right past the defender. So, you know, maybe the ball's got to be a little bit earlier because that's where he probably has to start that run from if he's going to have a scoring opportunity.
And we talked about this a little bit as West Virginia wins a throw-in here during the Lehigh match earlier this week. West Virginia seeming in this new formation to get in behind better than it had previously. Caldera, Sukata, both of them scoring goals against Lehigh. For Sukata, it was his first career goal.
This is a different kind of beast, though, tonight, isn't it?
Absolutely is. Talking about the highest scoring offense in the Sun Belt, a top 5 scoring offense in Division I, and a team that has a veteran back line. Screen is a 5th year. Rodriguez, the center back, a grad student. Grosso, also a senior. The only youngster on the back line for Kentucky is Max Miller, the near side fullback, who's a true freshman.
Yeah, Caldera tried to play that one quick. Ended up being a turnover. But it was a good spot for him to be in, and I like the way that it got to him. It was just the touch got away from him.
All right, Adam, we've played half of a half with Kentucky leading West Virginia 2-0. What's the most important thing West Virginia can do at this point to try to get back into this one?
Yeah, I think I'll go back to keep it simple. Just connect a few passes in the midfield and get things going. I think they can unlock, and I think they can get behind. Just sometimes I believe they've been a little bit too ambitious with some of their touches.
Sukata crossing it, back post! There it is, right on cue. It's Adam Burchell. His second goal in the last 3 matches for West Virginia, and his third as a Mountaineer. It's Kentucky 2, West Virginia 1 in the 24th minute.
A breath of fresh air and an exhale from the entire stadium here. Dromers plays it out wide. Sukata, he's been really, really dangerous. A really good ball here. Again, you're making the keeper maybe make a decision. He might have to lay out for it. Burchell is lurking on the back post and does a great job of burying it. Again, those are the kinds of balls, I think, right through the 6 there. I think if Moles wanted that back, I think he would try to pounce on that one. But he got caught in a little bit of no man's land, and it's in the back of the net. And now the stadium, it's a great crowd tonight, so we should give some credit to those fans for coming out, has got a little bit of life here.
Some hope for West Virginia after the Adam Burchell goal, assisted by Yutaro Sukata. It's his 3rd assist of the season and his 2nd in a row. He had a goal and an assist, Sukata did, against Lehigh back on Tuesday. For Burchell, it's his 19th career tally. Scratch that, 17th career tally. He had 14 at Division II Charleston under Dan Stratford before transferring to West Virginia. He scored a memorable goal, a game-winning goal, in fact, against the number 3 team in the land in Pitt a season ago. Something about big games for Adam Burchell, the 5th-year man from England.
Well, if West Virginia is able to turn this one around, this might rank up there with the Pitt one. But when you say Adam Burchell right now, that's the first thought that I have, is that header against Pitt. But if the Mountaineers are able to fight back, this one might give the other one some competition.
That was a night like no other. West Virginia under Dan Stratford showing that it belonged. Can they do it again tonight? It would take a big effort still, with West Virginia trailing 2-1. Mountaineers lost it. Gracia got it back. Bear to the goal scorer from England, Burchell. Dromers looking to see if he has space. Jorgensen. Sukata can be dangerous as he cuts inward. Bear. Gracia. An exciting night of Sun Belt soccer. Kentucky scored 2 right away, but West Virginia got one back a few moments ago to make this one interesting. Still a whole lot of ball left to play. It'll be a throw-in for West Virginia.
Now West Virginia trying to go from side to side, change the point of attack, also try to mix up that pace, hold the ball for a little bit, then try to move it a little bit quickly. Ooh.
No whistle despite the high attempt there from Sukata, but it will be a throw for Kentucky here. And the first substitution of the night. Aitor Bjorgulfsson will exit. And entering the match is Ben Damji for Kentucky. Last touch there clearly by Jorgensen for WVU. Well, how about this, Adam? You take one top goal scorer off in Bjorgulfsson and you replace him with another. Bjorgulfsson has 6 goals to lead the Wildcats, but Damji's right there with 5. He's the reigning Sun Belt Offensive Player of the Week. He scored 4 goals last week, including a hat trick against Georgia Southern.
Well, you beat me to it. As I was seeing the sub come in, I'm like, oh, the second leading goal scorer is making his way for the first leading goal scorer, so you're not going to lose a ton of production.
What a shot by Grenning. That one high. It'll be a goal kick for West Virginia. Yeah, and then the maybe not to say the third choice striker, but another guy on the bench for Kentucky has also put one past West Virginia. It was Danny Evans who scored the winning goal. So with the forwards, you've got Bjorgulfsson, you've got Damji, who's scored 4 in his last couple of appearances, and then Danny Evans, who's a 3-time All-Conference USA honoree. I mean, Coach Settergren is spoiled for choice up top.
Lots of different options, and it's so nice when you can, utilize some depth and not have a lot of players and not have a lot of drop off.
Ors Navarro has snuck in behind here, pass screen. Ors Navarro lays it off for Burchell, but good defending from Kentucky. I believe it was Rodriguez who gave up his body to block that shot.
You talked about screen going really high up the field, wants to be involved in the attack. And he's got to recover and defend, though, because he's vacating a space where the Mountaineers have gone a little bit on the, when the Mountaineers have gone towards the net, there's been a little space, pocket of space there that's been vacated.
Kentucky is going to get its chances tonight. There's no doubt about that. But the goal by Burchell seems to have reinvigorated the Mountaineers on the field and maybe rejuvenated this crowd in Dick Dalesk Stadium. Nearing the half-hour mark, Kentucky leading by a goal. Bonaire sends it forward to Ors Navarro. Olakainen has his pass deflected, and it's out for a Kentucky throw. Taking another look at Ors Navarro getting past the defense. Tried to set up Burchell there, and Burchell's attempt was deflected inside the box by Rodriguez.
That's the space. You saw Screen giving chase there. He's a good defender, very experienced. But in a foot race, Mountaineers had the advantage on that one.
3 shots on goal for Kentucky, 2 shots on goal for West Virginia. Been a few moments since the Wildcats have put one on target.
Wildcats came out buzzing for sure. They were just seemed like everything was going towards the Mountaineers' net. Got the ball back as soon as they gave away possession. They got it back in a hurry, and you thought, boy, this is going to be a long night for Bonaire. But the Mountaineers have fought back again with the goal. But in addition to that, just getting a little bit more of the ball here to try and slow this game down a little bit from a momentum standpoint.
First 2 goals for Kentucky came in the first 12 minutes, and it seemed like all of those 12 minutes were played in West Virginia's defensive half.
And it seemed like it would continue for the next 12 and the next 12 and the next 12, but the Mountaineers were able to find something a little bit, and so definitely the pace and tenor of this game has changed since that hot start from Kentucky.
Just past the half-hour mark, Nick Farrell, Adam Zundel with you on ESPN Plus, bringing you live Sunbelt soccer from Morgantown, West Virginia. The first ever meeting between these two teams in Morgantown. Ors Navarro got by 1, but was intercepted by another Wildcat. Erickson poked it out of bounds for a West Virginia throw. Kentucky won against West Virginia in double overtime last season in Lexington. Referee had previously played advantage there, it appears. Maybe that's the reason for the delayed whistle. Already restarted. Holstead drops it back to Rodriguez. He has some space. Rodriguez will charge forward. Gutman plays to Enzo Maries, who's passed Jorgensen for a moment. Gutman to Max Miller. Oh, creative there from Miller to get into a pocket of space. Gracia defends the cross, and Bear is able to punch it forward. Burchell sneaks in there to get possession back for the Mountaineers. Now they'll move it forward. Sukata looking for Ors Navarro in the box. Ors Navarro, a good crosser, but good defending there from Grasso to force him to move back. Sukata crossing, Rodriguez heading all the way back to Gracia.
Seems like West Virginia, when they want to counter, they want to get it to Sukata, as they should. Really creative and dynamic player, making things happen. But you saw trying to get things going. Everyone's looking to the left to try to get it to Sukata, see if he can make something happen.
Olakainen, the right back, moves in centrally occasionally when West Virginia has possession. As soon as we say that, the Mountaineers relinquish possession, but get it right back perhaps. Burchell with a creative flick. And he has committed a foul.
Well, in that sequence there, though, Nick, I thought that Utaro was a little bit sluggish kind of following that play. I thought he might be a little bit more aggressive trying to follow the action, as Burchell was really fighting hard to, clever to play it to himself and ahead, and might have been some space there. And I think Utaro was just kind of waiting to see what might happen rather than get in there and try and win the ball.
This match so important in the Sun Belt Conference. Kentucky leads the league with 10 points, Marshall with 8. The Thundering Herd also in action tonight. In fact, that match began just a few moments ago. West Virginia with only 5 points, needing a win to try to get within a game of those two teams. Coach Settergren telling us he's not so concerned about being undefeated as he is making it back to the NCAA tournament and winning championships this year. The Wildcats won the Conference USA tournament last season, and back in 2018, they swept CUSA, winning the regular season and tournament titles. Current Mountaineer Elijah Borneo was on that squad for Kentucky, and there are a few Wildcats from that team who are still playing, including Screen, the fullback, and Danny Evans, who has yet to check into the match. Just over 10 minutes left in the first half. Erickson past midfield. Here's Maurice. Maurice to Gutman. Low cross, he has a runner! Bonaire makes the save. It's a corner kick for Kentucky, but it's a great stop from Mark Bonaire.
Yeah, that was big time there. I think he just got a boot on it to make it go wide there. Gets right through that Mountaineer defense, though. And you see, I feel like when Kentucky has built, it's been on this near side of the field and sending balls across. I think Gutman's been really solid for the Wildcats.
Brennan Creek, a transfer from Western Michigan, has checked in. He removes Casper Grenning, who scored the second of Kentucky's 2 goals. Some substitutes also checked in for West Virginia. We'll try to highlight those in a moment. Corner kick from Screen is headed out by West Virginia, but it'll fall back to Screen, who sends it right back in. Jorgensen heads it toward Denkgracia right into the middle there, but Denkgracia able to clear.
There have been, it feels like, a ton of balls that have just kind of bounced around inside that 18-yard box of West Virginia's here tonight. Kentucky was able to score a couple off those, but even still, some clearances that have not gotten all the way out, or balls headed back into the box. So that's what it looked a little bit like in that first 12 or so minutes, when the Mountaineers looked like they were just kind of hanging on. So the Mountaineers need to kind of pump some more life back into this match here. The
substitutes have just come on for West Virginia. They are Ryan Crooks and Luke McCormick, 2 players making their way back into the rotation from injury. In fact, McCormick has missed the last 3 games for WVU. We were told he would be a game-time decision tonight. We were also told that when he heard that Kentucky was the #2 team in the land, that he would not be missing a game of this magnitude. It's his 60th career appearance for the old Gold and Blue. Meanwhile, Martin Sorida has checked in the midfield for Kentucky, and Enzo Maurice, the junior from California, takes a seat. It was Caldera and Ors Navarro, by the way, who came off for West Virginia. Max Miller against the new entrant, Ryan Crooks. Mountaineers trying to double near the corner flag. Jorgensen's going to try to win a goal kick here. Ball just stops trundling forward, and it does appear that Jorgensen, though, has won a free kick for West Virginia. Sunbelt score update. Look at that. Not what I expected when our producer said, hey, here's a score update. Old Dominion leads #4 Marshall in Huntington, 1-0.
That is an interesting development down in the Fun Belt, right? That's what it's called.
Damji finds Gutman, looking for a back post cross. Thiessen boots it ahead. Screen will pop it back in for Kentucky. And we'll have a stoppage here as there's an injured Wildcat just outside the 6-yard box. see who that is, Adam? I'm not quite sure. I haven't seen a number yet.
Efforting.
It might have been Martin Sarida, I think, who recently came on in the midfield, and that is the case. It is Sarida. Take a look at the contact here on the cross for Kentucky. Sarida against Olakainen, and yep, just put his head into another head. The Norwegian Sarida with a accidental headbutt, I guess you could say, to the Finn Olakainen.
You're running that danger when you do that, and you see it often in the game. So trying to head it down when you want to try and head that ball down, and somebody's right in front of you.
While we have a moment here, Adam, the Sunbelt standings with Marshall trailing Old Dominion 1-0, and that one by no means is over.
I'm sure there's a long way to go in that one, just like we had a long way to go in this one.
We were talking about the irony before the match that West Virginia, with a win tonight against Kentucky, could be doing its arch rival a huge favor in the league standings, right? If West Virginia beats Kentucky tonight, and that would require WVU to come from behind, of course, that would mean that a win for Marshall over Old Dominion would put the Herd at the top of the league with 3 matches to go. A lot of soccer still left to play this evening. Here as it stands in Morgantown, Kentucky holding a 2-1 lead over West Virginia in the second meeting between the two programs. Coming to you live from Dick Dalesk Soccer Stadium, where the Mountaineers are 4-1 all time against top 3 opponents, but they found themselves in a 2-goal hole just 12 minutes into this match. After the Adam Burchell tally in the 24th minute, though, West Virginia drew within 1, and that's where we stand now on the scoreline with just over 6 minutes left in the opening half of action. Nick Farrell and Adam Zundel here with you. Happy to have you along on what has been a beautiful fall day in the University City. Temperatures hovering around 70 this afternoon. They've steadily dropped, though, as it is a bit brisk again for this nighttime affair.
It's a beautiful night to play, though. It's a beautiful fall day here in Morgantown. I'm sure the players, as they're running around here, don't feel it. And it's a great crowd. Mountaineer Nation supporting. Come see this this big matchup.
Absolutely so, and it has been a pretty good week for the Mountaineers, at least for the other football, shall we say, as the Mountaineers beat Baylor on the gridiron 43-40 on Thursday night at Milan Pushkar Stadium. Casey Legg with a game-winning field goal in the final minute of what was a very, very Big 12 football game. Had a little bit of everything.
Yeah, and this squad could use a little bit of the resilience displayed by the football team the other night.
True, right, very true for West Virginia, as the Mountaineer football team did trail by double digits against Baylor. And a couple of plays that you never would have thought would happen. And sure enough, West Virginia came away with a win.
To see McCormick get a couple of touches here, let him try and create something if you're West Virginia. Try to unlock and get him involved here. You know, one of the things that he brings is energy and creativity, and you want to try and get him some touches.
Hey, one last note on the good weekend for Mountaineer Athletics volleyball team, coming off a 3-set victory earlier today at the Coliseum, just a short walk away from where we are now at Dick Dalesk Stadium. Tomorrow, women's soccer team continues its Big 12 schedule right here at DDSS, taking on Baylor. You can watch that broadcast on ESPNU. I believe it's a 3 o'clock first kick. Inside the final 5 minutes of the first half, Adam, do you like the way West Virginia has responded to being down 2-0?
Yeah, it really looked like this was going to be a very, very long night for the Mountaineers, and they were able to get that goal and get a little bit of energy. Since then, I think the game has settled a little bit for both, and I think West Virginia really needs to be able to try and keep that energy up and kind of keep that desperation up even as we enter here the final 5 minutes of this first half.
Taco Simpasi checking in for Kentucky. The Lexington native is a true freshman. Gutman comes out. Gutman had one of the 2 assists on the Grosso highlight reel goal. The other one Other assist, that is, went to Andrew Erickson.
It's a really good delivery there from Bonaire. When hearing the coaches talk, they wanted it to get to the head of Drummers, and boy, Drummers, he just missed it, but he didn't have to go but 2 yards. So it was a good delivery there. Although the Mountaineers have lost possession, and this is, I think, where West Virginia needs to try and turn up the pressure a little bit.
Meanwhile, this has been kind of the inverse of the Dayton game for Kentucky. In that match, the Wildcats found themselves trailing 2-0. In fact, they gave up a goal in the first minute of the contest, wound up tying 2-2. Scored a goal just before halftime to get to 2-1, and then scored in the final 5 minutes to draw level. That game was, though, a bit of an anomaly, Adam. I mean, it was a monsoon in Lexington all day. Playing conditions certainly weren't optimal.
Yeah, in addition to being rainy, you could just see the wind whipping across.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
It was one of those matchups where, you're thinking about, well, if we win the coin toss, or we're going with the wind, against the wind, where that's a really important distinction.
Sukata now on the far side for West Virginia. Sukata asking questions. That one's out for a corner kick for West Virginia. It'll be the first for the team in gold, and it comes with 2 minutes left in the first half.
Well, Sukata just decided he'd just take on the rest of the Kentucky defense there, as he was surrounded by, it looked like, 4 or 5 blue shirts, and was able to get through. And I think because of the volume of bodies there, winning a corner was probably the best case scenario in that situation.
It'll be Fred Jorgensen to take the corner for West Virginia. It'll be an in-swinger. Got some big bodies in there. Thiessen, Dangracia, Dion Dromers. Mountaineers have scored a few goals off corners this season. Dromers in the vicinity, but it's won by a Wildcat. Flicked back on by Thiessen, and on top of the net.
A lot of contact there initially. So we have another look at it. Great look here. Good job there by Kentucky getting ahead on the first one, and Thiessen just can't quite get enough pace on that one. Goes over the crossbar. But you'd like to have it end up on Bjorn Thiessen's head there. It's not a bad place for it to end up if you're West Virginia.
Final minute of the first half in this Sun Belt clash between West Virginia and Kentucky. Their first ever meeting in Morgantown, their first meeting as members of the Sun Belt. Wildcats find themselves leading this border battle 2-1. Yesterday, Coach Johan Settergren of Kentucky told us this match will be about problem solving. Both teams will cause problems for each other. Kentucky caused a lot of problems for West Virginia in the first 15 minutes. The Mountaineers have solved some of those problems, but have not solved the problem on the scoreline, as they still find themselves trailing by a goal. Few seconds here maybe to change that before the half. Not quite, as screen intervenes, and the ball winds up back toward the center circle.
3, 2, 1, 0.
Whistle for a foul. Adam Burchell does not quite like that. The musket sounds, it's halftime. Well, Adam, bit of a confrontation here as we enter the locker room. Give me your thoughts on this first half.
Well, let's go back to what you're talking about, asking questions, and I feel like Kentucky, boy, they had a lot of thing to make them make decisions and make some plays.
Teams have switched sides. Kentucky with the opening kick as the second half begins. Wildcats will now attack the goal to the left on your screen. West Virginia now attacking to the right. The Mountaineers are 0-3 this season when their opponent scores first, and 0-3 when trailing at halftime. That is the situation. West Virginia down 2-1. Meanwhile, Kentucky has not given up 3 goals in any match this year. The Wildcats are 8-0-3 overall, 3-0-1 in conference, 11 matches unbeaten to begin the season. The program record is 14 matches unbeaten to begin a season. That was set last year. Bjorgolfsson. Early opportunity for Aitor Bjorgolfsson, the leading scorer for the Wildcats, but Mark Bonaire, the redshirt sophomore, makes the save.
So that play play actually kind of started up in the midfield where Bjorgelsen and Ors Navarro had a little bit of contact, and Ors Navarro went down. Bjorgelsen got up, started to make his run through, and ended up with the ball and putting a shot on frame there.
One more look at it. He's already beyond Dengracia, who's tracking back. Bjorgelsen on the left foot maybe just didn't hit it properly. Bonaire, the redshirt sophomore, is the reigning Sunbelt Defensive Player of the Week. Meanwhile, in goal for Kentucky, it's Casper Moles, the true freshman. Sukata tries to split by screen, but can't. Now he crosses one in, back post, just doesn't find the net. Caldera can't believe it. He thought he had one sneaking to the back post there, but it's out for a goal kick.
Wow, that is hard to believe that that one didn't find the back of the net, and this has been West Virginia's best player so far tonight. It's Sukata sending the ball across, and how does, it just hits right at the post and it spins away.
That connection between Yotaro Sukata and Marcus Caldera has been stellar for West Virginia as of late. It was Sukata who set up Burchell for what amounted to a tap-in for West Virginia's lone goal. A cross that brought Moles out of the net. Maybe a moment of indecision there from the freshman keeper, who's making a second consecutive start. He split time this season with Isaac Walker, the senior from Orlando, Florida. Cleared out of play by Luis Grasso. It's Grasso and Luca Rodriguez, the center backs for Kentucky. Near side fullback is Robert Screen, the fifth year. Max Miller, the far side fullback, the true freshman. For West Virginia, the back four is Fred Jorgensen in possession. The center backs are still Thiessen and Dengracia. The near side fullback is Otto Olakainen. Also of note, Luke McCormick and Ryan Crooks, both still on the field. They subbed on midway through the first half, remain out there to begin the second half. Here's Crooks. Crooks misses wide. Well, we've been keeping an eye on this one because it is critical time in the Sun Belt Conference. It is halftime in Huntington, and the number 4 Thundering Herd trail Old Dominion 1-0. Goal scored in the first 15 minutes, I believe, by ODU. That would be an upset with huge ramifications in the standings. Old Dominion has just 4 points and is currently in a 3-way tie for 6th with Coastal Carolina and James Madison. Meanwhile, Marshall has 8 points, is in sole possession of second place, and is really hoping tonight, surely, that its rival West Virginia is going to do it a favor and force Kentucky to drop points.
Yeah, if Marshall is not able to get a full 3 tonight, that opens the door really to that second spot in the standings. If Kentucky's able to hold on and take care of business, but that second spot does earn a home game during the tournament, which is really, really critical.
And so if West Virginia were to win, hypothetically, and Marshall to lose, that would put the two teams equal on 8 points. And this league would be anybody's to grab. But West Virginia has a whole lot to do before that could become a reality.
Continuing the change here as Kentucky looks to attack. You talked about the subs at halftime, and that puts Sukata here on this near side, right side, and McCormick on the left side on the more of in a winger position. We've seen Sukata be dangerous on the left side, and then we've seen him be really dangerous on the right side. So flipping that doesn't seem to be too detrimental to him, as he's just been successful, I think, with his play here tonight.
Crooks, who has a high attacking work rate, is definitely going to drift upward. It looks almost as if West Virginia is playing 2 right wingers. Sukata is going to get it here. Crooks is playing far wide and far ahead for what we presume is a central midfield position. He's joined in the midfield by Ryan Baer, the captain, and Dion Dromers. Meanwhile, for Kentucky, it's Enzo Maurice who's back into the game, moving it forward. Maurice's pass is picked off by Dengracia, but the Mountaineers give it right back. Wildcats asking questions again. This is a cross in from Nick Gutman, defended by Otto Olakainen. We've played 5 minutes in the second half. The pace has been frantic. Maurice drops it to screen. This is Clay Holstad who crosses it all the way. Big switch to Max Miller.
I think this is the direction in the side of the field that Kentucky's been most comfortable here. Ending up trying to get Gutman in that flank. A similar spot to right here.
Here is Gutman to Miller. Deflected by Thiessen, and McCormick prevents it from going into touch. McCormick charging forward. His pass to Caldera is taken away by Rodriguez. Open space here for Kentucky. Gutman crossing. Bjorgolfsson just misses. Boy, that's one that you'd think the Norwegian would often find the back of the net with, but he just can't sneak it into that post. And it stays 2-1.
Boy, point blank here from Bjorgolfsson. You said it, he's going to want this one back. He is right there. I'm going to guess 9.5 times out of 10. He puts that one in the back of the net, and you have to exhale. I feel like West Virginia got caught a little bit in no man's land. They didn't commit really to a counter, and then they didn't quite get back, and Kentucky came in a rush.
So we've had both teams with near misses on headers in the early goings in this second half. Marcus Caldera in the 47th minute just put one past the near post, missing by a matter of inches. And then Aitor Bjorgolfsson had an opportunity. Here's an errant pass. Here's Gutman. He has an option. Gutman misses. Was it deflected? Yes, it was. Corner kick. I think Bonaire got a piece of it. Boy, that could have been curtains in this one.
Yeah, West Virginia's dodged a couple of bullets here, and a bad giveaway from Bonaire just straight to the Kentucky player, but he's able to, actually didn't get a piece of it.
Thiessen was the one who intervened, right?
It away.
Well, and really that's what Thiessen does best. He's so solid at the back. Coming up with a huge tackle there, but now the corner kick. West Virginia must stave this off too. Bonaire with the punch. Still a chance for Kentucky. Dropped back, shot by Erickson, deflected by Caldera, and now out and over everything. Clay Holstad was the player who had the second chance. Caldera gave up his body to deflect the first opportunity.
Yeah, you're going to see this end up with Caldera on the turf. You see his head, he's going to go down, and he's just going to hit it with his back right there. That was a good spot because Kentucky was patient, trying to find some space to get that shot off. And Caldera, almost like a hockey player, going down and throwing the body. And now you see West Virginia letting Thiessen start things off.
McCormick is past a defender. Advantage was played. McCormick appeared to have the advantage, but the whistle will stop play for a free kick for West Virginia.
Yeah, soccer's one of those odd games where you are upset when the foul is called, right? because the fans don't like it, because obviously West Virginia looked like they might have had something going there, but brought back here for the free kick. Can the Mountaineers manufacture something from this distance that looks like a set piece?
Well, it is a long distance to goal here. Dromers has quite the boot on his right foot. He'll take this. Defended by a Wildcat and blasted toward midfield by Screen.
So the answer to that question was yes. Even though that distance, that was a set opportunity, as Dromers just blasted that ball. It was actually a really good service, particularly from that distance.
Sukata with a lob through pass. Can Caldera get there? Uh-oh, that could be a corner. No, it's not. It's a foul. Caldera a bit too physical. 10 minutes gone in this second half of action. Score remains Kentucky 2, West Virginia 1.
That's a tough one there. Tripped him up, though, for the foul. Both guys going after it. And I'll tell you what, Grasso is a strong player. I mean, just physically looking at him, he looks like he is mature, strong. And you talked about Caldera just having his 18th birthday.
Referee Nick Rodfete having a conversation with Aitor Bjorgolfsson and Aaron Denkgracia for West Virginia. The referees awarded a free kick to WVU. Big switch as play resumes. Kentucky wins it, and now a chance to counter. Max Miller on the far side. Bear trying to clamp down. Bear fouls him.
That's a really good touch there from Gutman there to spring things forward there for Kentucky.
Kentucky is undefeated, number 2 in the nation, its highest ever ranking in the United Soccer Coaches poll. Meanwhile, West Virginia has been unranked for most of the season, despite starting the year at number 6 in the preseason poll. Both of these teams trying to get back to the NCAA tournament. Kentucky has been there in each of the last 4 years, while the Mountaineers made it to the Elite Eight for the first time in 4 decades last fall. Screen deflected by Sukata. Bear looking for help. Finds Olakainen. 57th minute. It remains a 1-goal game.
You know, in those moments where it looks like West Virginia can get things going and going in transition and trying to maybe mount a counterattack, it almost looks like there's a little bit of hesitation because Kentucky can get the ball so quickly, and almost afraid of Kentucky winning the ball back and coming right back towards goal. So West Virginia, I think, is not taking the chances yet, and there's still, you know, not quite an hour into this one, so there's still some opportunity, but a little bit conservative, I feel like, in some moments, trying to break forward.
Mountaineers have won 18 of their last 19 matches here at Dick Dlesk Soccer Stadium, with the lone loss coming in September to Yale in 2-1 fashion. They've also been extremely good against nationally ranked teams. Here are the friendly confines of DDS. 4-1 all time against top 3 opponents in the history of this facility, with the lone loss coming in 2015 to Maryland. Good split by Eriksson. Gutman finds Miller. Rather, that's Enzo Maries on the far side, whose pass is deflected. McCormick trying to jockey with Miller, who wins it back for Kentucky. Nearing the hour mark here at Dick Dlesk. Nick Farrell, Adam Zundel with you on ESPN+. Critical Sun Belt showdown tonight. Kentucky looking to build on its conference lead. West Virginia trying to get back into the mix and battle for seeding. Mountaineers currently in a tie for 4th place with South Carolina, both of them 5 points apiece. Georgia State is in 3rd. Marshall is in 2nd with 8 points. The Wildcats lead the conference with 10 points through their first 4 matches. Speaking of Marshall, second half about to begin in Huntington any moment now. Reminder that Old Dominion holds a shocking 1-0 lead on the road over the number 4 Thundering Herd. Caldera finds Sukata, and he can be dangerous in this type of space. Sukata deflected for a corner.
Looked like West Virginia was off for the races there. And he slows up just a little bit right there, and then he wants to put the burners on, and Screen does a nice job staying with him, forcing the corner kick. But again, I feel like West Virginia is looking for Sukata to get things going, and slowed down his pace just a little bit, allowed Kentucky to recover. But a corner kick is still a good result here for the Mountaineers.
It'll be Jorgensen to take it. The count on corner kicks the same as shots on goal. Kentucky with 4, West Virginia 2. Here's the service. Thiessen off the post. Did it go over the end line? It's into the back of the net anyway. It's Dion Dromers who has tied the score for West Virginia. Dutch dynamite for WVU. All squared with number 2 Kentucky.
Boy, it's like a roller coaster here for West Virginia as the first one hits the crossbar, and I believe there's still a Mountaineer player down.
I think it might be Bjorn Thiessen who had the initial header. That's correct.
And so you definitely need Thiessen to keep this going. And then you thought once Kentucky might have avoided danger, Dromers is there to clean it up. Big moment for West Virginia to draw even here.
Absolutely incredible. We got to take another look at this replay. So much happened in the span of just a few seconds. Thiessen hit it off the crossbar. Dengracia couldn't get there, but Dromers put it away for the equalizer, 2-2.
So look at Thiessen really fight his way through there to get his head on the initial one to try and put it in the back of the net. He's coming off the field, I believe, and if he is able to return, you know you're going to want to. Of course, you have to be thinking about everything, you know, when it's looks like he's holding his nose. You hope there's not a concussion to go along with that. But, yes, oh, yeah, you see a towel full of blood there.
Yes, you do. Oh, boy. And that's huge for Kentucky here because Thiessen is by far West Virginia's, well, don't want to understate the value of Aaron Dengracia, but we're talking about a guy who was placed on the Mac Hermann Trophy watch list at the beginning of this year and is a former All-American in Bjarne Thiessen. For him to be off the field for any extended period of time could be detrimental to West Virginia as we take one more look at the goal flicked into the net by Dion Dromers after all that commotion, which, by the way, that is now the 8th career tally for Dion Dromers, his 3rd of the season for the Old Gold and Blue. He's now tied with Luke McCormick for most career goals among active Mountaineers. It comes just 5 seconds after the hour mark. Kentucky led 2-0 in the first 12 minutes, and now it's all squared. But Thiessen has now left the bench, at least momentarily. They will have to resume play without him. The true freshman Noah Gold checking in to play that second center back position. A heck of a spot for a newcomer for the Mountaineers. Let's see what happens. We've got half an hour to go, and we've got a ball game. That's why they call it the Fun Belt, folks. You never know what'll happen.
Huge opportunity for West Virginia now to have drawn even, come all the way back. And again, a tough task here, losing your top defender. You just talked about it. And yeah, again, all due respect to Aaron Dengracia, who's done a nice job back there, but you do need 2 people to handle Bjorgolfsson.
Right.
He is, like we said, he is a handful. He is dominant. And so, you know, the one thing that you do get is you do get a fresh set of legs in there, and you do get a big body in Noah Gold, but it's going to take by committee for sure.
Well, there's the foul that sent Burchell to the turf. Free kick coming for West Virginia. Gold will take it. West Virginia is going to try to make a substitution here as Ryan Crooks is on the sideline next to the head coach, Dan Stratford. Adam, how important does possession become for West Virginia now that it has had to make a change in the back four?
Well, the fewer touches that Bjorgolfsson gets, the better off you are 100%. And, you know, really since Kentucky owned that first 12, 15 minutes, West Virginia has done much, much better in holding the ball. I feel like Kentucky's press has been effective, and I think bringing the ball out of the back, that's going to be a real challenge for West Virginia. It's been a challenge already with Thiessen trying to build from there, and I think it just gets a little bit more difficult with a new player, Gold back there.
Burchell fouls a Wildcat, and he will be the first player in the book. 62nd minute caution issued to Adam Burchell, who scored the first goal for West Virginia in the first half. And it looks like Andrew Erickson is also going to need a sub here.
Yeah, Erickson has that brace on his knee, and we didn't get a second look at it just yet. I'm sure we will. But that is, looks like it's been re-aggravated in some way at least.
Well, Adam, we've been talking at length about Eitor Bjorgolfsson, the preseason Offensive Player of the Year in the Sun Belt. We've heard him compared to a fellow Norwegian in Erling Haaland, the Manchester City star striker, a player that can mix physicality with pace and that goal-scoring ability. Coach Johan Sedegren also said, hey, I'm an Arsenal fan, but when I first saw Eitor Bjorgolfsson, he immediately reminded me of Didier Drogba, the stellar goal scorer for Chelsea.
Yeah, but Bjorgolfsson thinks he's Ronaldo. Was the other part of that. When he said that, I kind of thought like a puppy, big dog that still thinks it's a puppy, right, and wants to go out and run and play,
right.
and do
Play
all of those
flair.
things. Yeah,
right.
It doesn't know its size and strength. So no, he's like we said, he has all of it, right? He has, for his size, he's got really good pace. He's really smart. You don't get to see players that are a complete package like that, and so he has definitely delivered for Kentucky in his career there.
So the midfielder Andrew Eriksson, clearly in pain, has checked out, replaced by another Norwegian in Martin Sarida in the midfield. Meanwhile, West Virginia wins a throw in the attacking third.
Well, to do something that hasn't been done this year, which is beat Kentucky, West Virginia going to have to do something that Kentucky has not allowed, which is 3 goals. And so the Mountaineers have been able to pull even here and try to continue to have some momentum, and going to get another corner kick here. And we saw that prove fruitful the last time out, but you are losing again. Here's the other part of losing Thiessen is on these set pieces. We saw his effect and impact on the first, or on the second goal just a few minutes ago, winning that first ball in the air, and that's where he's really, really strong. So West Virginia is going to have to adjust and find another player in there if this is in the air.
Crooks will take the third corner for West Virginia. It's headed outward by Kentucky.
That was Bjorgolfsson, and you saw how powerful and high he got to win that one.
Dion Dromer scored the equalizer just past the hour mark for West Virginia. It's tied at 2. Kentucky led 2-0 in the first half, scoring both goals in the first 12 minutes. West Virginia has clawed back. Nick Farrell and Adam Zundel here with you in Morgantown, West Virginia, coming to you live from Dick Delesk Soccer Stadium. It has truly been wild and wonderful tonight as the Mountaineers and Wildcats meet for just the second time in their histories.
I tell you, after we saw Kentucky come out and they were all over West Virginia, I thought, boy, this is going to be quite a long night, and Kentucky is as advertised, and they definitely have been. But West Virginia has done very, very well to, I mean, I think you said it perfectly in terms of clawing back. There have been, you know, West Virginia hasn't been dominant for sure, but they have for certain earned their goals here tonight. They've been well taken and well earned to get 2 back here.
All level at 2 with 27 minutes to play.
This is the spot Kentucky's really liked.
Max Miller, his cross is deflected. It's a corner kick for the Wildcats. We're scoreboard watching tonight at Dick Delesk Stadium because there's an important Sun Belt match taking place in Huntington, West Virginia. Marshall and Old Dominion have begun the second half. It remains 1-0 in the 52nd minute, with Old Dominion still holding a shocking lead. A lot could happen in the Sun Belt standings over the next half hour. We're so glad to have you along for the ride on ESPN+. Corner kick in from Kentucky. Bjorgolfsson! Off the side netting. Not sure who tried to turn it goalward. Was it Grenning who got the last piece to it? He's already had a goal tonight. It was deflected out for another corner kick for Kentucky. Got to see this again.
Yeah, Bjorgolfsson, he is so tough. Yeah, it does look like that one is off Bear.
Boy,
there.
Good defending by Bear.
Yeah, to have
An
that near post.
acrobatic act on the goal line.
Yeah, I mean, this Bjorgolfsson, we talked about how big and strong he is. This is really, really dangerous.
Marie sends it in. Bjorgolfsson is there again. It might have hit a Mountaineer, but it doesn't go over the crossbar. Bonaire has it. 65th minute of action. Still 25 minutes to go. It's anyone's game.
This is a big advantage for Kentucky in terms of set pieces with Thiessen out. And not great there from Bonaire to play that one out of bounds. And I think that's Kentucky is going to put some pressure on the young keeper in those situations.
Dion Dromer subs back in, the goal scorer for Ryan Crooks. Meanwhile, Ben Damgee checks in and Bjorgolfsson takes a break. Not uncommon for the Norwegian striker to take a seat midway through the second half. We'll likely see more of him around the, say, 75th minute mark. Reminder that Damgee is the reigning Sun Belt Offensive Player of the Week, scoring 4 goals in 2 matches last week. And as Adam just alluded to, as West Virginia wins a throw, the true freshman Noah Gold from Germantown, Maryland, has come onto the field for the last 5 minutes for West Virginia with All-American center back Bjarne Thiessen out. He played a big role in the Dion Dromer's goal, exited the match after that game after taking an apparent blow to the face. And we still have yet to see him return to the bench. So the back four for West Virginia from far side to near side is Jorgensen, Gold, Denkgracia, and Olakainen. And it's Olakainen who wins one from Grenning. Olakainen tries to split for Caldera. Still a chance for West Virginia to press. Turned out by Miller. He links with Gutman, but Gutman loses it on the far side. Throw in WVU.
That was good pressure from West Virginia. It looked like Kentucky might win it and break that, but a good step on the far side, and West Virginia's able to win it back.
Only other game in the Sun Belt today, Georgia State playing a non-conference match against Liberty. Georgia State won that contest.
This could be trouble here with Kentucky on the break.
Sorida, Bear trying to get back to him. Sorida pulls it back. Kentucky didn't necessarily have numbers, but still an opportunity here for the Wildcats. Grenning links with Miller. Now a connection to Halstead and back to the center back, Grasso. Screen, Sorida. 68th minute of action, we're knotted at 2. Crafty there by McCormick.
Yeah, Bear stepped in, though, started that.
McCormick over the top. Ors Navarro in the vicinity. Grasso deflects it out of bounds. Boy, can't say enough about how well the Kentucky captain has played at the back tonight, as Utaro Sukata will relieve Luke McCormick. Grasso with just an absolutely sensational scissor kick in the 6th minute of action in the first half to score the breakthrough goal for Kentucky. Jorgensen from deep. Moles has no trouble there. 2 has been the magic number for goals for West Virginia over the last several seasons. The Mountaineers have won 45 of the last 49 games when they score 2 goals or more. They'd have to get a third to win this one against Kentucky and hand the Wildcats their first loss, but Kentucky has not given up more than 2 goals in any match this season. In fact, this is just the 3rd time that Kentucky has given up a pair of goals to its opponent this year. And it's the first time it's happened in back-to-back matches. The Wildcats trailed Dayton 2-0 earlier this week before coming back to draw that match 2-2 in a torrential downpour in Lexington. Touch more than 20 minutes still to go between West Virginia and Kentucky. Halstead, Grenning. Gutman in space. Slips it to a teammate on the far side. That's Maurice. Maurice tries to get around Gold, but can't. Caldera can't hold up. It might go for a West Virginia throw anyway. Not the case. Wildcat throw.
Good defending there by West Virginia, but unfortunately not able to possess the ball, trying to get it out.
Gutman. Gutman behind Damji and in front of Enzo Maurice. Burchell lost it on the turn. Can't win it back either. Here's Halstead for Kentucky. Halstead to Grenning. And screen, and Maurice, and screen again. Good quick passing from the Wildcats.
And Burchell has to be careful, too, on a card. It looked like he was going to make a little bit more physical contact and held up at the last minute, knowing he's been booked already.
2 Mountaineers on yellow cards, Burchell and Fred Jorgensen. Grasso. Had a teammate but couldn't pick him out. Crafty ball from Dromers to find Ors Navarro near midfield. Ors Navarro has it poked out. Throw-in coming for West Virginia. We'll see some subs. Ciro Borlat-Yegi entering the match for Marcus Caldera. And look at this. Mask on for Bjarne Thiessen. Back to the match 10 minutes after Dion Dromers scored the equalizer. Noah Gold exits. And the Mountaineers, for all intents and purposes, now back to full strength at the back line.
I had a feeling once he was taken away that plan might be to find a mask for him and get him all set. It's a difficult thing to come back into, and I wondered if they might have even given him a minute until Bjorgolfsson came back in. You know, the mask is great, but you have to, you know, continue as if you're protected, you feel like you're protected, you have to continue to play play that way.
Well, Adam, it is superhero night at Dick Dalesk Soccer Stadium. I haven't been able to pick out many superheroes in the stands. Halloween's still a couple of weeks away, but that is one heck of a superhero mask there on the German Thiessen.
Yes, we know who that masked man is out there.
He may not be Bruce Wayne, but he played an important role in West Virginia's goal to equalize against number 2 Kentucky. Thiessen off the crossbar, Dromers cleaned it up. And that's how we got to even Steven in this match. 18 minutes left, still a ton could happen here. Though it does seem that the excitement has maybe calmed down just a little bit over the last 10 minutes.
Yeah, a little bit, and I think if you're West Virginia, you want that energy, you want that excitement, you want that desperation. West Virginia, I mean, honestly, West Virginia needs this win. They need the full 3 points, more than Kentucky does at this point. Obviously, the Wildcats have a lot of aspirations in winning a regular season title and a tournament title. All of those things are still ahead of them. West Virginia, the situation is a little bit more dire, and a win over a team that's undefeated and number 2 in the RPI and number 2 in the coaches poll can go a long way for this squad. And really that's quite honestly probably the only satisfying outcome for West Virginia tonight would be a full 3.
Ball beyond Dromers and cleared to midfield by Kentucky. Dangracia wins the header over Damji. Meanwhile, on the near sideline, Bjorgolfsson getting ready to check back in for Kentucky. Burchell tries to find Ors Navarro, but a good step by Grasso, who again continues his solid night at the back.
That was a big time play there, big time play.
Olakainen with the body, not enough to get a foul, wins it back for West Virginia. Meanwhile, quick note about the substitute, not Sergio Ors Navarro rather, but Ciro Borlat-Yegi. He did not play against Lehigh. He's making his 11th appearance, only has 1 shot this season. Has played sparingly off the bench and comes in to relieve Caldera momentarily. And Thiessen sends that one to the sideline. It looks like he will have to come off.
Yeah, he knocked that one out on purpose to try and get a stoppage here so that he can come off. I just don't think he can go.
At the hour mark, as Dion Dromers scored, Thiessen took an apparent blow to the face. Tried to come back on about 5 minutes ago wearing a mask. But his night might be done here. As the Mountaineers do make a substitution there, you saw Burchell come off. Ryan Crooks is onto the field. Noah Gold now on the sideline. Looks like the true freshman will have to return to action as Thiessen gets an ovation from the crowd. People say that you have to give everything in a match like this. Thiessen has given everything.
You can tell he's disappointed not being able to finish this one, but look like interpreting a little bit what says almost looked like the mask adjusted or slid on his face and just not able to deal with it. Unfortunate for West Virginia. And I say that being it really would have been a bonus if he could have been able to play. And the fact that he's not able to, there's no shame or anything in that. It's a really difficult a moment. Clearly a broken nose here tonight, and trying to play with that. And you know, we kind of use the phrase sometimes you got to stick your nose in, and he definitely did that.
Yes, he has.
And you said he really gave a great effort tonight, and we're disappointed, I'm sure he is, to not see this one out. But you know, you talk about having depth, and it's got to come through here tonight. And clear foul there from Gracia.
Yeah, noteworthy that Bjorgolfsson has also re-entered the match, as has Brennan Creek in the midfield. Enzo Marie's out, Ben Damji out, replaced by Bjorgolfsson at striker. So this could be a decent spot for a set piece here for Kentucky as we enter the final quarter of an hour with these teams knotted at 2 goals apiece.
Yeah, and Bjorgolfsson has to get the bulk of attention here. You know, he's just so big and strong and powerful. He's got to get the attention.
Service from screen. High to the back post. Opportunity for Kentucky. Bonaire saves. Bonaire draws the foul. Great effort by the redshirt sophomore from Warrenton, Virginia. Fantastic play by Mark Bonaire.
Yeah, I think what made this so difficult is all of the traffic in front of him. You're going to get a great look at it here. Just all those bodies in there. It got by Noah Gold, and Bonaire's able to make that save. Looks like Kentucky was going to try to go far post, try to get it headed back towards the front of the goal.
Huge save by Bonaire to keep this one level at 2 goals apiece. He's making his 3rd straight start in place of the injured Jackson Lee. Uh-oh. Wildcat lost his footing there. It was Grasso. Borlat Yegi just couldn't pounce on it. Now here comes Kentucky the other way. Holstad finds Grenning. And dropped back to Grasso. Cross in. Sent away by Otto Ollikainen. For Kentucky, the #2 team in the country, the exact opposite of the Dayton game. In that one, fell behind 2 goals to 0, came back and drew 2-2. Tonight, led by 2 after a pair of quick goals in the first half, but let West Virginia sneak back into this game. Of course, West Virginia has done a large part in battling back. Great goals by Adam Burchell and Dion Dromers.
Oh, that was a really good ball there from Crooks.
And it finds its way to McCormick now from Ollikainen. Crooks. Ollikainen, the right back, way up the pitch now. Here's McCormick and Crooks. Crooks crossing. It falls to a Mountaineer and it's in. Has Dion Dromers done it again? A brace from the Dutchman. West Virginia has a stunning 3-2 come from behind lead over the #2 team in the land.
How about that? How about a 3rd goal tonight for the Mountaineers? And I tell you what, Ryan Crooks did a lion's share of this work here. He had the open space long before this, and you see him working right here. Weave his way through, send that ball in, forces Moles to get a hand on it. He can't field it cleanly, and Dromer really, really patient to bury that one. He didn't take anything too quick. Finds his spot and buries it. Is there anyone with a stronger leg than Dion Dromers? I'm not sure.
Such poise, such composure in a critical moment. He scored the tying goal for West Virginia to make it 2-2. He scores the go-ahead goal, top bins from inside the box to make it 3-2. He is Dutch dynamite for West Virginia, and he now leads the program in career goals among active players with 9. Now, how can Kentucky respond? Here's Grenning. Grenning! Equalizer! What a response, and what a goal from the Wildcats! Grenning has his brace. It's 3-3 in the 78th minute.
Well, here we go. It's going to be a wild 13 minutes. It's already been a wild night. Equalizer for Kentucky inside a minute of the Mountaineers going ahead. You hear in the background the PA just catching you up on West Virginia, and a great strike. Far side into that net and getting past the keeper. A really well placed.
Well, while all of this is happening, let's update you on the other score in the Sun Belt Conference. Just past the hour mark, Old Dominion 2, Marshall 0.
Wow.
The team that wins this game, if it's Kentucky, is either going to cruise in the Sun Belt Conference, or if West Virginia were to somehow win this match, the Fun Belt will be wide, wide open with 3 matches to go. A ton of soccer left to play. 12 minutes to go. West Virginia and Kentucky tied at 3. Here's McCormick.
Well, we thought the game was in a little bit of a lull, maybe about 5-10 minutes ago. It is no longer in a lull.
Not
Both
anymore.
teams with the sense of desperation flying. You can see a card being issued now as both teams are really trying to sell out here and try to find a winner here tonight.
Screen is the player issued the yellow card, one of the captains for Kentucky. Officially, goals scored 23 seconds apart. Dromers had the go-ahead goal for West Virginia. They led for only 23 seconds before Kentucky equalized through Kasper Grenning, the native of Denmark. All right, here we go, Adam. It is going to be a heck of a finish. Just over 11 minutes to play. Clock is stopped momentarily after the yellow card to set things up for the resumption on this free kick. And it looks like they might have to do it again because Jorgensen didn't wait for the whistle from Nick Rodfati, the referee.
Well, I would probably be looking for some of your better players in the air. Obviously, Caldera's one. Dromers is good in the air as well. I think Gracia.
It was in the vicinity of Dank Gracia, but Casper Moles comes out to get it. West Virginia has now scored at least 3 goals in each of its last 3 matches, outscoring opponents 10-3 in that span. But Kentucky is the team that leads the Sun Belt in goals. It would not be impossible for one more to be scored on this night. 11 minutes to go. Here's Grenning. He's on a hat trick. His cross is deflected out by Dank Gracia. McCormick lost it. Kentucky gets it right back. Here's Creek, who had the assist on the Grenning goal. Back to Luca Rodriguez. Creative play on the far side for Kentucky. Throw in Wildcats. And a quick pause for a substitution. Martin Sarita will exit. Enzo Maries will re-enter. Mountaineers will make a change of their own. Max Trethaway coming in for Yutaro Sukata to play that left wing position. I believe these are the first minutes for Trethaway, the sophomore from Charleston, West Virginia. He's been impactful this season for WVU with 3 assists. Clock still ticking as these changes are made. Sukata still making his way off the field. Inside the final 10 minutes of action, tied at 3. High cross in. Grenning wanted to wind up and blast that one on the volley, but Olakainen headed it out. Here's Grenning again. Still Grenning. High and wide, goal kick.
Good job by the Mountaineer defenders to try and continue to push Grenning wider and further away from net.
I want to go back to the Grenning goal there, Adam, because West Virginia has done so well to claw back into this game and to pull ahead. But that is the poise and savvy of a team that can make a run in the NCAA tournament, shown from Kentucky there. Does not matter what the score is, we will score again and match you.
Yeah, I mean, unbothered. They were down 2-0 against Dayton and fought back to earn that draw. And, you know, probably had to be a little bit deflated, you would think. You know, had a 2-0 lead and kind of let it slip away. And West Virginia all the way back in front 3-2. Again, no problem. It didn't even take, you know, you couldn't even ask the question, what was Kentucky's response going to be before the ball was in the back of the net for the Wildcats. And, you know, regardless of what ends up happening tonight in this result, we've seen enough from Kentucky to know that this is one of the best teams in the country, and they have all of it. They have the offensive capabilities, they have the defensive capabilities, and then they have that it factor you just kind of talked about, the resolve and the you know, the chemistry and that other element that goes into winning championships.
Here's screen. Crooks falls down. Bonaire has it. 8 minutes left. Kentucky trailed for just 23 seconds after Deion Dromer's second tally of the night. Casper Grenning equalized in the 78th minute with his brace to get us level at 3-3. Bonaire asking why Aitor Bjorgolfsson can be so close. He's outside the 18, preventing the player from punting the ball. Was inside the 18-yard box for a period of time, as if he was defending the keeper, Bonaire, like a basketball player would. Here's Kentucky in possession again. 7.5 to go.
Really precious seconds melting away as the debate about, you know, having him back up ensued. So if part of the goal was to waste a little bit of time, that was mission accomplished.
Crooks pokes it free from screen. Scoops it forward, but only as far as Grenning. Grenning splitting defenders. Miller chips it in. Bjorgolfsson is there. It's a foul and a free kick inside the final 7 minutes of this frantic match. Grasso and Grenning scored in the first 12 minutes. West Virginia responded with goals from Adam Burchell and Deion Dromers. Dromer scored a third goal, top bins, in the 77th minute to put the Mountaineers in front 3-2, and then Casper Grenning scored his second to tie the score. It has been a frenzy of a soccer match in the Sun Belt. Meanwhile, Old Dominion still holds a 2-goal lead over Marshall in the 69th minute of that match. And again, that result, the Marshall game, should Old Dominion win, that is exactly why this match is so critical. Kentucky could either build its lead with a win, or West Virginia could get back into the race for a Sun Belt regular season title. It could get level on points with a win here if Marshall were also to lose, and be just 2 points behind Kentucky with 3 to go. As it stands now, Kentucky would move to 11 points, West Virginia 6. West Virginia bench wanted a foul there. Kentucky still in possession. Maurice lost his footing momentarily. Drops it back to Grasso inside the midfield circle. 5.5 minutes left to play. Can't make any assumptions in a match like this one, but one more goal could win it. Unless someone were to score 23 seconds after. Who knows?
That's right. That's right. Just when you thought West Virginia had finally metaphorically climbed the mountain and you could exhale, Kentucky just took the wind right out of the stadium with its response.
Final 5 minutes in this one. Bjorgolfsson giving chase. Bonaire comes out to get it as Dank Gracia fended off the Norwegian.
Good job by Dank Gracia to fight him off, which is not an easy thing to do, and that is high into the air there by Bonaire.
Dank Gracia's normal partner at center back, Bjarne Thiessen, has been sidelined by an injury here in the second half. The freshman Noah Gold remains on the pitch for WVU at center back. Been a while since West Virginia has had any meaningful possession in its attacking half, but it does want to throw in there near midfield. The front three for West Virginia: Max Trethewey at left wing, Luke McCormick at right wing, Marcus Caldera back in at striker for Dan Stratford's squad. And it looks like Alex Clayton has come on for WVU.
I think that's to try and get Olakainen a little bit higher up on the field here in these final minutes and put Clayton on a outside back position.
Sergio Ors-Navarro also back into the match. Luke McCormick and Ryan Crooks have exited. We're going to get a stoppage here. It's Olakainen who's down for West Virginia. Meanwhile, Brennan Creek, who had the assist on the game-tying goal by Grenning, also shaken up.
Another look at it with all that contact. It looked like it was Olkainen's elbow that got a little bit high.
Yeah, initially thought it might have been a clash of heads there, but that does not appear to be the case.
Yeah, and I think that's where the foul was called. I believe that's where the referee was positioned, able to see that arm kind of get up on Creek.
Clock is stopped with just under 4 minutes left in this match. Nick Farrell, Adam Zundel here with you to bring you the conclusion of this one on ESPN+. It has been a heck of a night at Dick Gillespie Stadium in Morgantown, West Virginia. Throw in Kentucky. And a foul on Bjorgolfsson. He can't believe it.
I thought for sure it was going to go the other way.
Well, he does excel in hold-up play with his physicality, but Aaron Denkgracia, the fifth year from Mannheim, Germany, 6'3", he's a bruiser himself. Those two have really gone at it tonight, but especially so over the last 15 minutes.
Yep, since Thiessen's absence.
Final 3 minutes now. Will we find a goal to separate these teams? Creek trotting backward. Has Rodriguez.
Screen sneaking up from the back position.
Creek as West Virginia drops back. Miller far side. Cross in. Screen might have a crack here. Not close.
He had a pretty good look on it. Would have been a beautiful score if he's able to convert. So there was some traffic there. Tried to be really, really perfect with it and hit it hard, but got away from him on an attempt. And really, Nick, since West Virginia scored that goal, really not much of an opportunity here in the waning minutes.
2 minutes left in this one. Meanwhile, Marshall in the 74th minute has scored to make it Old Dominion 2, Thundering Herd 1. Goal by Gabriel Alves.
Well, we talk about Kentucky's resolve and their grit, and Marshall's a championship squad as well, and showing that and trying to get back in that match.
Ors Navarro. Body goes down. Grasso won it for Kentucky. And the Wildcats have a throw. 80 seconds left.
Have to keep it down in here on this throw. Have to get possession back.
Clayton sends it into the bench for another Wildcat throw. 70 seconds remaining. Another throw for the Wildcats.
You know, I'm still not sure where I fall on the overtime debate.
Right, fair point. But no overtime. It will end in a draw if it stays this way.
But I sure would like to see these teams play on. You know, tonight.
Why don't they just play another game tomorrow?
Yeah.
Just stay in town.
Well, when we still have time here.
A replay like the FA Cup. Is that a corner for West Virginia? It is. It has to be taken quickly. 35 seconds and counting. This very well could be the last opportunity in this match.
And this one's had a little bit of everything here.
For West Virginia, it will be Dromers to take it. He's a ball winner, but he'll take the corner kick. Denkgracia showing two. Dromers sends it in.
Oh, what a save.
What a save by Casper Moles.
What a save.
He has just saved Kentucky's unbeaten streak. I'm not sure which Mountaineer got ahead to it. It might have been Marcus Caldera. The punt, the match ends. This thing had a little bit of everything, Adam. We're going to take one more look at West Virginia's last chance effort to try to win this match. It was Ors Navarro who got ahead to it. What a fingertip save by the true freshman Casper Moles. Kentucky drops points.